Greetings Tubiverse, I am one noob, and in this video, we're going to run through the Top War Suppression hero upgrading strategy. This isn't a simple strategy, and if you do it wrong, you will hurt your progression and other things, putting you behind other players. Don't worry, I'm here for you to help navigate all the hazards that come with this strategy. Suppressions in Top War is something that shape a lot of your gameplay, and they hinge on this basic graphic. Army units have a natural advantage against Air Force has an edge on Navy, and Navy units have a leg up against Army units. None of these branches have a leg up versus the Marines, so Top War refused to give us those superior units, but that's another story. Once you hit around level 60 in game, suppression effects really start to become noticeable to you in battle, and last I checked, they unlock at level 45. For all players starting out, I highly recommend sticking with the exclusive hero and perk upgrading strategy that I put out a video on, and I'll link that here for you. However, with that said, once you get your main unit heroes right, you can ignore the perk leveling part for a while, and instead switch to this strategy to work on your second unit types. I'd like to thank Timmy for pointing this out to me. As you fight other players, you will figure out just how tough it is to beat other players that are around your strength but have that other unit type that's so much harder for you to beat. When I see Navy, I'll admit I get a little grumpy, but I still smash into them because I ain't afraid of no bone. So, when you start thinking about how to beat this, the first idea is to start shoveling cash into the coal fire engine of the Top War train. I get this, yes, I also do this. The other idea is to ask yourself, how do I hit them with the units that they're vulnerable to? This method is where we're going to answer that question, but a part of this answer means we have to skip over perks for a while. I know this sounds crazy, but this is what you're going to have to sacrifice short term because you'll need to focus on building the proper hero marches for both unit types that you choose. You'll need more orange shards in reserve. This is why PvP meta heroes are so darned important. There are two different types of metas in Top War with heroes. The first is the universal most effective tactics available, or U-meta. The second is the unit-specific most effective tactics available, or S-metas. Yes, I just made those acronyms up for Top War. Please give me credit, yo. I need all the subscribers I can get. Or go grab some merch from my merch store if you're feeling super donatey. If that's a word, I'm not sure if it is or not, but there's that. When we use the suppression hero leveling method, we want to build a universal meta as step one, and we'll go to our hero skill setup buttons and configure them to both our units so that we can switch them out for the units we're about to use. Then the unit-specific meta is our step two, and we basically transition our two hero skills to those heroes later on. So this takes a ton of universal hero shards and a ton of universal exclusive hero shards to pull it off. So yes, this is a lot easier for pay players to pull off, but free-to-play players can pull it off with planning and watching new hero videos that people like Timmy, well, Timmy does the best job of this period. He's known for doing very well quickly on release. He always seems to stop to consider all these different ways a hero can be used, and he jams them into his videos. Top War is a bit chaotic in how it releases heroes during special events, and I've seen it drop 3 critical heroes in a month across 2 different unit types. So no, we can't put orange shards into perks if we're doing this until we have around 1,890 orange shards in reserve. Then we can start doing it. That's a critical line to me based on what I've seen. It's worth considering starting with perks and gathering if you're committed to the strategy and you don't want to spend a ton of money pulling it off, and I'll explain why in a minute because I know that sounds a little wonky. And thinking about your universal exclusive skill shards, you better think long and hard about this one, okay? U-metas get priority always in upgrading their hero exclusives to level 5. I hope you hear me here. In my current hero lineup, I have 3 U-meta heroes, which are Asuka, Gypsy, and Striker. They work well with all unit types, believe it or not, but are best suited for Army. So while it's not ideal, I can switch these heroes to Navy units and get all their benefits. This is a good start. But where the strategy really gets sexy is when you have the best overall heroes for both of your unit types. And they might share a meta hero or 2 if you're super duper lucky. If I pick Navy for my second group, which I did, the current best lineup I think is Stromroy, Layla, Lila, whatever, and Crimson. Don't worry about who they are. These things change. I say that in a lot of videos. What is important is step number 1 is U-meta. Step 2, S-meta. You see now why this method is a lot easier for pay players? Top War has likely done this on purpose to create a more dynamic PvP outcome matrix for all of us. If you just stop here though, you will make a lot of mistakes. The rest of this strategy guide covers the proper thinking and setup so that you can use the suppression hero leveling method with minimal interruptions and mistakes. There are some soul-crushing mistakes that I want to protect you from here, okay? For those free-to-play and casual spenders out there, the rest of this video contains solid information to help you grow strong in-game, even if you aren't going to use this method after you've gone the whole way through. You might just go, too much, but that's cool. Remember, if you stick with just your main unit type, you're in an alliance, and you can always call for help for a friend that has the unit type you need to burn whoever just burned you. That's a beautiful thing about, playing in a group. If you're a pay player using this method, plan on buying weird stuff you didn't think about before, like food, oil, and class item chests in regular intervals, but especially food and oil. There's nothing wrong with this, it's just not my personal playing style. I typically spend time in grinding and spend money in stats boosts and Titan gear because those things are permanent. It's a type of meditation for me, hitting all the dots, the buttons, and the red dots inside of the shiny red buttons in the circus that is Top War, and keeps me occupied while I talk to my friends in game and Discord at night. Players that grind will find their way there for free. It just takes longer for them. Yes, I'm with you. At that point, the money you put into resources will feel like a waste. So remember, you're trading money for speed if you choose to do this, and you're still going to need to buy the stat boosting stuff like skins and decor bundles. So plan on spending more than the casual spender if you want to rush and use this method, and don't have any regret in your head, okay? Just do it because you believed in it. The suppression-based hero leveling strategy starts with pre-planning and obsessing over food and oil gathering marches, unless you're just going to power through and buy all the resources you need. That's a mini whale's secret weapon right there. Just buy the stuff you need when you need it. Easy enough, right? Suppressions rely on you having a steady stream of food and oil, and your research tree needs them too. Suppressions start off really cheap, but so do the other things in your tech tree. The costs ramp up super fast. So while I get that people will tell you to speed up your research tech tree and speed up your suppressions, doing this is something that only pay players should do when you use this method, because you're going to run into a brick wall with resources at some point in time. Your 3-hero march is the most important thing to spend your resources on getting up to, so please don't forget that. And if you're going to rush anything, rush that instead of suppressions. It sits there in your hero tree just waiting for you to unleash the power of your tropes. We do not want to pick suppressions over our tech tree. See how crazy this thing gets? I'm not done yet. When that happens, you're just going to sit there with your research and suppressions idle while you sit there twiddling your thumbs, hoping for mana oil to kind of fall from the heavens, which only happens doing like Terra Aurora and Eternal Lands kind of events. Spoiler here, doing those events, when those happen, spend every waking moment taking advantage of those resource gathering boosts. If you have 1 billion food and 1 billion oil, you're still ridiculously short. No, I'm not joking here. Yeah, you're super short. Don't go gathering alone on anything other than level 6 tiles that spawn from resource ruins, and these aren't going to be, preference number 1, but you will need to do them. All other gathering should be done in barns, oil refineries, and yes, refinement centers for Odinium. Thank you very much, Mechanical Masters. We could not do it without you. Now let's talk about the units we should pick. This is a personal preference, but Top War built a forced choice between picking Air Force and Army. If you look at your base, while the garages, hangars, and docks are a nice place to put your troops, you'll use more space than this. There are only so many land spaces out there, and you can fit a whole lot more Army units on the ground than you can fit airplanes. If you go to any base, you'll kind of see this is true. You're going to be building Navy units because they're the only ones that can float, so there you go. Unit type 2 is either Army or Air Force. Do what you want here, but it would be really cruel of me to leave out that Army is the better choice for most players. The reasons past number of troops are pretty simple. First, Air Force still requires Maximo. Maximo's been around forever to get the best lineup going last time I checked for Air Force, and he isn't cheap to grab as a hero. Second, you'll also notice over time that the developers tend to give us more love when it comes to our Army heroes than what they do for the Air Force, which is nice because in the real world, that's not how it pans out. If you pick Army, you get suppressions on Air Force, and you can fight other Army units with no penalty. With Navy, you can fight Army with suppression buffs and hit other Navy units that the suppressions don't actually impact you there, so kind of easy peasy choice, right? Do what you want here, and if you're a regular spender, Air Force can be a crushing to use instead with the right strategy. Free-to-play players, steer clear of choosing Air Force, or else I'm going to slowly shake my head at you in a mixture of disapproval and shame. The next thing we need to focus on in the strategy is setting our components using the plan button feature, because we're going to be doing a lot of toggling and flipping really quick to use the strategy. Until you have at least 2 full player versus player component sets, you'll need to set the Plan 1 button to your main unit and use the Plan 2 button to set your best PvP comps on your second choice unit. In-game, that's Army for Plan 1 and Navy for Plan 2. This way I can hit with Army, and if I see I need to go up against a strong Navy, I just hit Plan 2 on my comps and my hero skills and then try and smush them. Got to get this done as fast as humanly possible. This is why you can't ignore those level 6 tiles that I mentioned before. They have the stones to help build your conks, yo. But you need to get superior farming buffs from your mechanical masters or you'll run out of resources. It's a little bit of a tightrope back there. And thinking about your second unit type, the heavy trooper you use will also need to be configured and its chipsets also taken care of. You can't use the same heavy trooper if you lose, unless of course you have that pretty cloud top palace base skin, in which case you can repair your heavy duty trooper once a day. Oh, I love that skin, but it's a pretty penny. Finally, your war hall, you're going to need to configure your marches specifically for each unit type to make sure you have quick access to launching them. Now this doesn't work long term in game, and it's going to take 2 full sets of PvP components to really get the base defense benefits that come with this strategy, but it's really great once you get there. You can set up your defense with the right units to lure attackers in using the wrong troops with this method by using the suppression tree against them. They're going to think they're hitting the wrong troop type. It's a basic way to explain it. Also, another hazard in this method we need to address is equipment. It takes a lot of resources in the arsenal to make equipment for your units. Instead of trying to build up gold equipment, limit your production to purple equipment on your main units for the most at first, then switching to the next unit type you picked up to build its purples. This is a whole other grind, but you have to be conscious of this if you're using the suppression-based hero upgrade method. So that's the entire strategy, ladies and gentlemen. I know it's difficult, but you can do it, okay? Free to play, pay to play player, you can do it no matter which way you go. But if you're a free to play player and this is too much for you, again, this is okay. I said this before and I'll say it again. Remember, you're in an alliance and you have a friend that has the other unit type and you can always call on your alliance to hit whoever burned your base, okay? Thanks for watching, and until next time, Twoverse.